struggling, but oh, I got it.
What?
Just pistachios, that's it?
Yeah. I'll eat something when I get to school.
Later. Smart, yeah.
Hello, Sharon.
I kind of just... Professor Rogers! Hi! Hi! Just good.
I have a student teacher here.
Oh, fabulous. Great seeing you. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We doing all right? Better than all right? Good. What's made your day so good? This class. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. All right. So you guys have your sonnet packets on your desk, as some of you are furiously scrambling to complete your homework right now. So sonnet packets on your desk, and a pen or pencil, and a piece of paper. Go ahead and grab those three things out. Sonnet packet, pen or pencil, and a piece of paper. As a reminder, you have three things to be aware of. You're going to bring me Hamlet questions by Monday. Well, not by Monday, you're going to bring them on Monday. And then tonight, you're going to read and annotate Sonnet 12 in your packet. That's the very next one. And then, of course, you're going to answer the survey that is linked on Canvas. So just like we've talked about a bunch of times now, be honest, but be constructive. Yeah. If you didn't do it yesterday, you could try it later, not right now, but later, because I don't know if Mrs. Hume has closed it yet. She hasn't? Okay, wonderful. But if you miss it, you miss it. This is one of the things that there's no way to make it up. So hopefully we're getting those done. Questions, comments, concerns? Alright, so I'm going to come around and check your homework. This is Ms. Panagios, and she's going to lead our class today, so let's make her feel welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ms. Panagios, as Ms. Fisher just mentioned. I'm here to work with you guys on Sonnet 116. I really want to help you guys break down this text and make meaning from it. As we may have noticed by now, Shakespeare is not always super clear about what he means. It requires a little bit of analysis to derive at the meaning. All right, so welcome. Last time, I know that when you guys had another guest teacher, you discussed Sonnet 138. You wrote an analytical statement about Sonnet 138, and you started to pull evidence from the text to support the analytical statement. Today, we're really going to be building on that. So we're going to be discussing how to find the theme in a sonnet and find textual evidence to support that theme. And as a little review, a theme is the underlying meaning that the author is trying to convey through it. Reiterate tonight's homework. Please read and annotate Sonnet 12. Okay, so your paper should look like this. It should have tons of markups on it, tons of highlights, as I see some of you have. And we want you to write 2 sentences predicting the theme of Sonnet 12. And of course, fill out the survey that's gonna be linked on campus. All right, we're gonna get right into it and start off by reading Sonnet 116. Please follow along and make any additional notes as I read. And also jot down any questions that you might have. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering lark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. All right, I would like you guys to turn and talk to a partner and tell them 3 things that you're confident you understood about this poem, and 1 question that you have. I'm gonna give you guys about a minute to talk, and I'll let you know when to switch off. All right, you guys can go, start talking. Jared, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down and get into it, all right?
But why don't you wait till the other class?
If you have any questions about it specifically, break those down. What does it mean? Try to look at it like more deeply, like try to pick out specific things that you might have questions about.
Not doing it. Not doing it.
All right, you guys can switch off if you haven't already. All right. Seems like you guys have made some good observations. Let's hear some of your thoughts. What was one thing that you felt really confident that you understood? Yep.
No, love doesn't change with the time.
Love doesn't change with time. Awesome. Yeah, you're already getting to the main gist of the sonnet there. Good job. Anyone else? Yep. Hardships. Yeah. Awesome. Anyone else have anything to add to that? How about any questions you have on this initial reading or this second reading? So I know you guys read this for homework. Yep.
Do you just want me to ask one question? Because I have a few.
Oh, yeah. If you have a few, go ahead and share them.
So like with the first sentence, right? Like when the teacher was doing this.
True minds you're talking about? Would it be soulmates? That's a great idea.
Yeah, because like okay, we were just like letting back to the marriage of true minds, like I didn't know what they were saying.
Okay. Yeah, the syntax, like the structure of that sentence is a little weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys, do you have more questions than that? Any more?
Yeah. Is this stuff everyone involved? Like, do you think like it's like definitely wondering life in it?
Could be. Yeah, that's a really good idea. We're really gonna get into that. It's a really tough sort of image to understand. All right, thanks you guys for sharing. All right, so I'm going to do sort of the think aloud. So I'm going to read quatrain 1 and break it down for you, just kind of demonstrate my thought process when I first read this quatrain. Please follow along and make any additional notes. I know you guys have annotated your sonnets already. Make any additional notes as I go along. All right, so quatrain 1. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Let's see, we see that Shakespeare is talking about a marriage of true minds here. All right, what could true minds be? He gave us a hint there. Soulmates, right? So marriage, we know that Shakespeare is talking about love here. So we can sort of infer that true minds is like true hearts, right? Two people who are truly in love. True true minds are two people who are truly in love. Now, admit impediments. What are impediments? Impediments? Yep. They slow you down, okay. Yeah, so impediments are basically problems we run into in life. Obstacles. Okay, so things preventing us from doing something. So to paraphrase that sentence, Shakespeare is denying that any problems or obstacles can come between two people if they're truly in love. So there is a marriage, right? A union of two true minds or true hearts. There will be no obstacles. Okay, so Shakespeare's not going to admit to any of these obstacles. If love is true, there are no obstacles. Right? Or obstacles won't affect that love. And then we have love is not love, which alters when an alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. You know that alters means changes. Similarly, alteration, right, means change. So love is not love, which changes when it finds change, or when it meets change. Okay, so love is not love, which alters when an alteration finds. Or bends with the remover to remove. What is the remover? The remover is someone who leaves the relationship. Likewise, to remove is to leave the relationship. All right, so love is not love. True love does not change when it meets change, and does not leave if one person leaves the relationship. Now, why would one person leave the relationship? For a variety of reasons, right? Including if one of them passes away. So if one person passes away, the love still persists, it still prevails. All right, and it doesn't change. All right, for quatrain 2, I want to hear some of your ideas about what you think this quatrain means. Could someone please read this quatrain for me? Yep, go ahead.
Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken.
Thank you so much. All right, I would like you guys to take 2 minutes to discuss the following questions with the partner. So I want you guys to talk about what is it in the first and third quatrains. First and third lines of this quatrain. What synonyms did you find for the word tempest? Right, when you looked up the words you didn't understand for homework. What does the word bark mean in this context? What exactly does it mean when Shakespeare writes that love is a star whose worth is unknown? And what does this whole quatrain imply about love? Okay, you don't necessarily have to hit all of these questions, but definitely hit the last one, right? The last one is the most important one. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes to do this. Please start talking.
So the end is
Alright, you guys can switch off if you haven't yet. Alright, the next speaker can share what they think. What are you guys thinking?
That the love is true and unchangeable.
Alright, you guys. What did you guys think of this? What is it, first of all? It is an ever-fixed mark. What is it?
love.
Love. Okay, where did you look to know that it was love? How did you know?
Stars, stars, and all those kinds of things that love is never shaken, no matter how bad things may be.
Okay. Okay, specifically, how did you know that the word it there was love? Where did you look to find that? Alright, so you look to the previous quatrain, right? Previous quatrain, he's talking about love, so he kind of is continuing his thought there. So you can kind of sub in love instead of it. So, oh no, love is an ever fixed mark, and love is the star to every wandering bark. Okay. What about tempest? What synonym did you find for tempest? Yes? Windy? Okay. Windy, does anyone else have any definition for tempest? Yes? A storm, okay, exactly, so it's a really windy storm, a really violent storm. Okay, not just any old storm, but like a hurricane, a tornado, something really violent. How about bark? It is the star to every wandering bark. First off, can someone give me a little summary of that first sentence there? Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. Sort of put that into modern English for me. What does that mean? Yes?
Love is forever and it's so strong that
Not even a violent storm can shake it. Awesome. Alright. Let's move on to, it is the star to every wandering bark. Love is the star to every wandering bark, right? What does bark mean in this context? I've heard a couple of good ideas around here. Yep? A ship. How did you know that? What context clues gave you that idea?
Well, I was like meditating last night.
Yeah.
And I looked at Google what parts it was, and it said shit.
Oh, okay, so Google kind of gave you the answer there. Anyone else? Yep. Why is that? Yeah, what do, like in olden times, right, there were no GPSs, what did they use to navigate? Yeah, exactly. What was your idea? Wow, yeah, that's awesome. So basically he's talking about the North Star here, right? The North Star is used by sailors, not really as much today, but in the past, to guide their way. Okay, so this is a guiding star. What literary device is Shakespeare using here? Right, when he says love is a star to every wandering bark. Yeah? A metaphor, awesome. Okay. What exactly does it mean when Shakespeare writes that love is a star whose worth is unknown? Right, he says love is a star whose worth is unknown, although his height be taken. Yes? You don't know the worth because? Oh yeah, awesome. So he's saying that love is so valuable here that its value is really immeasurable. You can't even measure it, right? You can physically see where a star is, and especially today, we can measure how far away stars are, right? But we'll never know, especially back then, how valuable they were, because sailors relied on the North Star for direction, right, for navigation. Okay, so love is like a star, okay, in that it's a sort of a guiding light, and its worth is immeasurable. So what does this whole quatrain say about love? Just sort of to summarize this whole quatrain. Can someone please summarize this quatrain for me? What is really the meaning behind this quatrain? Someone from over here? Someone please summarize what Shakespeare is implying about love in quatrain 2. Yes?
Like, no matter, like, oh, that love can, like, withstand, or love can, like, conquer all kinds of, what's the word? All kinds of obstacles.
Yeah, and what about the text made you think that?
Just that, like, the first and second, or the first sentence, actually, where, that love, like, even in the face of a really violent storm, it's never shaken at all.
Yeah, it's, what does he call it? An ever fixed mark, right? What does it mean to be ever fixed? What was that?
Permanent.
Permanent, yeah, something that's constant or permanent. Awesome. All right. Now we're gonna get into the third quatrain, which I personally feel is the toughest one. It took me many readings to really understand some of the images that are going on there. I want you to work with a partner and decide what you think this quatrain means. and be ready to share, what you think it means and one example, right? One piece of specific evidence from the text to support your claim. Okay, you can take a look at these images. This may help you a little bit to sort of decipher some of the words in there. Okay, so love's not time school, the rosy lips and cheeks, with his bending sickles compass come. The Walter's not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. Wanna think about why is time capitalized there? What do you think the speaker is referring to with this image of rosy lips and cheeks? What does the sickle represent? What is the edge of doom? And what do you believe Shakespeare is saying about love? The relationship between time and love. All right, you guys have a couple of minutes to discuss this. You can start talking. All right, guys. See, what do you think this quatrain means? First of all, why is time capitalized here? Right, time. Why would that be capitalized? Yep. Yeah, awesome idea. So he's personifying time, right? That's why time is capitalized, because, right, proper nouns are capitalized. So we know that. What is time? What is Shakespeare personifying time as? Like, who is he personifying time as? What do you think there? Who is he personifying time as here, and why? Death? Right. Death. I'm sure you guys have all watched Family Guy. I know Family Guy is not one of Mrs. Fisher's favorite shows.
Yeah.
But you remember, if you watch the show, you'll remember lots of episodes where Death is wearing that cloak, right? And he's carrying, what is he carrying there?
A sickle.
A sickle, right, or a scythe. A sickle is, did anyone find out what that is? What is, yeah, it's a farming tool. What is it used for? To cut, right? To cut like grain, like tall grain. Okay, so what Death carries, or what Father Time carries, is called a scythe. That's a really similar tool, just with a longer handle. All right. Awesome. What do you think the speaker? So why do you think? First of all, why do you think that Shakespeare chose to personify time as Death, or as the Grim Reaper, or Father Time? Yep.
Because death inevitably comes to us throughout time.
Death inevitably comes to us throughout time. Okay. Awesome idea. So what are the rosy lips and cheeks there?
Maybe like the sweet relief of death, no longer having to suffer the hardships of the real world.
What do we think about that? Do we agree? What is that image of rosy lips and cheeks? Yes?
I think it represents physical beauty.
Physical beauty.
And how it, like, we grow old over time and we're not as beautiful. But, love
Yeah.
still goes on even if we're not beautiful.
Why does rosy lips and cheeks, why does that give you the image of youth?
Because, like, when you see children, it's always like rosy lips.
Exactly, okay. Awesome, thank you. Yep.
Maybe just more generally, like, being alive.
Being alive, right? Yeah. You got some color on your face when you're alive. When you're dead, you kind of have like a pale, like yellow complexion, right? Like just there's no blood anymore to make your lips and cheeks rosy. So we said the sickle. Want to review that? What does the sickle represent here? We know literally what it is, right? It's used to cut down grain. What does it represent here? What does it represent? Cutting his life? Yeah, so exactly. So the sickle is cutting, just like a sickle would cut grain, it's cutting down the youth, which is portrayed by the rosy lips and cheeks. Okay, awesome job. Now let's move on to love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. What's the edge of doom? It's a very grim image Shakespeare is giving us here. Yes? End of your life, yeah, could be that. Anything else, like in a broader sense? The edge of doom? Yes?
Taking last breaths.
Taking last breaths, yeah, the end of your life, taking last breaths. Good ideas, yes? The end of the world, yeah, the very edge of doom, the very end of the world, the apocalypse. Okay, doomsday. So he's giving us this really grim image of doomsday. What do you believe that Shakespeare is saying about love? The connection between time and love. Just to sort of summarize this whole quatrain, what is the connection, the relationship between time and love that Shakespeare is giving us here? Yep.
When it says love is not high school, I can say that love does not care about time. It's not of that person.
Exactly, yeah. Love's not times school. Have you guys heard the expression, like, I'm not your fool? What does that mean, really? Right, it means I don't answer to you. I don't have to answer to you. Okay? I'm independent from you. So love is independent from time here. Okay. So let's move on to the couplet. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. All right. I want you guys to turn and talk about this couplet with a partner for about 30 seconds each and discuss these questions. What is this error that Shakespeare is talking about here? Okay. What could be this error? And what does he mean when he writes, I never writ, nor no man ever loved? All right, let's let you guys discuss that in your partners. You can start talking.
And like,
Yeah, you can go to bathroom. All right, guys. What is this error that Shakespeare might be referring to? What is he talking about here in this couplet? Yes? There's no error in love. Yeah, awesome. Anyone wants to add to that? Yes?
If this be error is talking about how we were just talking about how love doesn't really die or change with time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says if this be error, it's saying if that's not true, then I never read nor no man ever loved. If that's not true, I never loved this.
Okay, right. So with what's not true? With what he...
If love doesn't like die with time.
Yeah, right? If what he's talking about in this poem, which is love doesn't die with time, if that's false, basically it's like as though he never wrote anything. Now this is a really strong statement here, because we know that Shakespeare, even today, is extremely famous, but in his time he was extremely famous. People came from all over the place to watch his plays. We're still reading, right, and watching his plays today, as well as his poems. So that's a really strong statement. It's as though you're saying like LeBron James, like he was like LeBron James, you know, I've never played basketball, or Beyonce were to say, I never sang a song, right? This is a really, really strong statement, and he's really confident about this. And In fact, he's even challenging the reader, prove me wrong. Right? If you can prove me wrong, you can pretty much forget everything I ever wrote. So he's discrediting himself like that. All right. Here we have an image of Shakespeare discrediting himself. What's that? Oh, bad Shakespeare, bad, yeah. All right, cool. So, what exactly are these claims that Shakespeare is making about love that he's so adamant, so confident about in this couplet, that he's challenging the reader, prove me wrong. I'm so confident that prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, I never wrote anything, and no man in the history of the world has ever loved anyone, which we know are extremely exaggerated claims. We know these are obviously not true. What is it that he's so confident about? I want you guys to turn and talk to your partner. Discuss what you think Shakespeare is saying about love, and at least 2 pieces of textual evidence to support your idea. Okay, I want you to cite specific places in the text that you think supports that idea. You can turn and talk. You'll have each 1 minute to talk, and I'll let you know when to switch. You can go.
If like
Is that still unclear to you guys what grid is?
When I
Yeah, it's sort of like an old English way to say it, right? Do you guys think you can bring some places in the text to support your ideas of the message he's trying to convey here? What is it that you're is there anything I can help So the error is basically like everything he said before, possible error. So if those ideas are wrong, then basically it's pretty much a work like everyone. I'm not a writer. It's like all right, guys. What did you guys think? First of all, what is Shakespeare telling us about love through the sonnet? He's using the sonnet to tell us something. Right? We've mentioned it a few times, but let's be really clear about it here. What is he trying to tell us about love here? What is he saying through the sonnet? Yeah.
Love is unbreakable, that even if there's obstacles.
Yeah. Great. What's something from the text specifically that you would use to prove that statement?
I would use the first sentence one where let me not marriage with true minds and everything, and also the one where talk about aging for the
Why do you think that? How do those sort of explain the theme?
well, because both of them are like negative, words which he says that it's not true.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Yes, back there. Monica?
Maybe saying like no one has ever been truly in love before, like their love has ended kind of, like where it talks about the storm, like true love doesn't really fall apart.
It doesn't fall apart when there are storms, right? What is an example of a storm that you would find in a relationship? Like, sorry, what was that? A fight, an argument. Yeah, good.
Suspicions of like cheating.
Cheating. Yeah, lots of terrible things can happen through the course of a relationship, right?
love and it'll never falter.
If it's true love, if it's really true, then it'll never falter. What evidence do you have to support that statement?
It's just that, like, few words that if, the marriage of, two people who truly love, that have, like, problems or, obstacles, it's not love.
And it's not really love.
It's not, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone from this side of the room want to share their ideas and maybe some of their evidence that might support those ideas? Someone from over here. Anyone have a different idea or different evidence that they may have cited? Specifically, what in there supports that? Right, so we have identified the theme. Right? The true love is unshakable, even throughout the course of a relationship where there may be lots of obstacles. Yep.
I put that despite your physical being leaving this world eventually due to time, that despite that, the impression that you leave on other people and like the love that you give them, as well as that the love that you give your significant other eventually will be here, and people will remember that if it is done correctly. And I mean, just the first line of that love's not time is school, rosy lips and cheeks, but spending single compass from.
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome analysis there. Thank you for that. All right. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. Oh, all right. So I want to let you guys, or give you guys sort of an example of how to put that analysis into writing. You guys all basically analyzed this poem, all right? We've analyzed it, every quatrain, every line. I want to show you how we can put this into writing to write an analytical paragraph, because you guys will be assessed. You guys will have to do this on your final assessment for this unit. All right, so let's analyze the following example. It is the star to every wandering bark. What is the subject here? Subject is true love, right? What is Shakespeare saying about the subject? He's saying that love will never change despite life's obstacles. How do we know this? Right? We know this because Shakespeare is using a metaphor to compare love to a guiding star. Right? This guiding star is constant and everlasting. And he's saying love is like a star because it's constant and everlasting. All right, so then we have our sentence frame for an analytical statement. Right? We'll say in Sonnet 116, Shakespeare uses blank, and the blank should be a literary device, right, to convey blank, and that blank should be the theme. The theme. And for example, that'll be your textual evidence.